My beloved in Christ, be prepared. Everyone stepped into this day like it was just another Saturday, and now some of them are realizing they should have kept their mouth shut. You might think Saturday the 14th is just superstition, an echo of old fears, but tonight it's not the number that matters. It's what you say, or rather what you shouldn't say. Some things are revealed only to those who know how to carry what can't be repeated. And tonight, whether you know it or not, you're being tested. Oh, and if today feels different for you, like it stands apart from the rest somehow, you can write about it if you feel like it. You can even leave the number along with it if you want to align with this day. If you've been hoping for a sign, keep watching, because there's one specific insight that's only gonna reveal itself if you stay completely silent today. I will explain why later, so stay with me. But before we go any deeper, there's something else you need to hear, because this isn't just any Saturday. This one brings a message. Every Saturday the 14th has a message, but only if you catch it. It's designed precision disguised as coincidence. Each one whispers something different. Some years it clears the fog, others it drops warnings like thunder in still air. But this one comes wrapped in confusion, like your thoughts are skipping tracks. Like everything familiar suddenly feels off by 1 degree. That's not anxiety. That's the contact. That's the message brushing past your thoughts, trying to catch you in the in-between. And maybe you've been second-guessing things, looking twice at something you'd usually ignore, because this time the puzzle doesn't come with instructions. You are the missing piece. But hold on, there's one more layer you must be aware of. The most important thing today. There's something unusual about the way energy moves today. It's not loud, but it's sharp, focused, watching. And if you've been feeling the urge to share your plans with someone, to finally say what you've been working on, what you're about to do, or what you're preparing behind the scenes, don't. Not today. Saturday the 14th, especially this one, doesn't like when things are spoken too soon. Not because it wants to ruin them, but because some energies don't survive the weight of being spoken out loud. Today is a day of quiet alignment, not loud declaration. It might feel like the timing is perfect, like you're standing right at the edge of something and just want someone to see it with you. But be careful. Sometimes sharing what you're building invites eyes that aren't watching with support. They're watching with hunger. Not everyone who listens with open hands. So hold it close. Your decisions, your breakthroughs, your next steps, they need silence right now. Not applause, not even gentle curiosity, just stillness. Let your actions speak for themselves when they're ready, not when your excitement can't wait. And there's a deeper reason for this one that most people miss. Today has a strange way of flipping energy back at you. Words bounce weird today. You say something with one intention and it takes on a life of its own. Intentions get twisted, plans get diluted, momentum leaks. So if you've been feeling tempted to just tell them what's coming, pause. Today, privacy isn't secrecy, it's protection. And that protection only holds if you let the mystery work without interruption. But the strangest part of all, you might not even realize what you've agreed to until you close your eyes tonight. Dreams tonight aren't just dreams, they might look like nonsense. People out of place, doors that shouldn't exist, symbols that vanish the moment you wake up. But something else is slipping through. A quiet signal stitched into the chaos. Like someone whispering from behind a wall you can't see. Some dreams aren't messages, they're contracts. Tonight, what comes in sleep might feel like you brushed against something you're not supposed to remember. Some people will wake up with fragments, an unfamiliar word looping in their mind, one that doesn't exist but feels like it means something important. Others might feel a strange agreement lingering in their body, like they said yes to something but can't quite remember what was asked. If you wake up with a feeling that's hard to name, don't push it away. Let it sit, let it breathe, because sometimes understanding comes later. Sometimes the message waits for the right moment to unlock itself, and it's not random either. These echoes in your sleep are part of something bigger. A spillover of energy that couldn't be delivered while you were awake. Maybe because your guard was up, or maybe because what's being sent doesn't want to be filtered through logic. Your dreams tonight may not be dreams, they might be deliveries. You're not crazy for remembering a detail that doesn't make sense or feeling like you recognize someone you've never seen before. That's not confusion, that's exposure. And there's something even stranger. Some people won't remember their dreams at all, but they'll feel like they missed something. Like they were supposed to get a message and it got lost, but maybe it didn't. Maybe it's still circling. There's something watching you tonight, and it's not watching your actions, it's watching your attention. What are you constantly returning to today? That one image, that sound that keeps replaying in the background of your mind. That one idea you can't seem to shake, even if you try. You didn't choose that, not really. There's a magnetic thread running through this day, and the moon is weaving it. It doesn't scream for your awareness. It pulls, subtle, intentional, seductive. You are not choosing what draws you in. What draws you in is choosing you. The idea that won't leave your head, the color you keep noticing, the video that makes you pause longer than expected, even if you don't know why. These aren't random distractions. They're signals, quiet breadcrumbs, a tracking method the moon is using to show you what you're not supposed to ignore. Because here's the truth. Spiritual energy rarely announces itself with clarity. It doesn't send an email. It doesn't always come in dreams or signs you can decode with logic. No, sometimes it just moves your eyes, shifts your ears toward a sound, makes you linger. That's all it needs. And if you're not paying attention to your own attention, you'll miss it completely. Boredom is never empty, it's a redirection, especially tonight. Tonight is not about what you're doing, it's about what you notice. Because what holds your gaze even for a moment too long is speaking directly to the part of you that hasn't yet remembered something. And if you've been brushing something off today, if you keep saying that's probably nothing, stop, reconsider. Because today nothing is ever just nothing. So look again, listen deeper. You might not understand it yet, but you were meant to notice it. The moon doesn't ask questions. It just tracks what you keep coming back to. And the more you resist it, the louder it gets. The full moon on June 11th didn't end. It left most people thinking of the moon's phases as a slow fade, waxing, waning, disappearing quietly into darkness. But this one didn't just fade. It withdrew quickly, abruptly. like someone leaving the room and forgetting they still had a presence there. And that exit left a mark, a kind of spiritual residue, not visible, not measurable, but felt. If the full moon was a message, what we're in now is the echo. Sometimes what's most powerful isn't what shows up, it's what forgets to clean up after itself. And today, June 14th, is the one moment the echo becomes audible. Not with your ears, but in the strange feelings, the unexplainable hunches, the way certain rooms feel slightly off, the moments of stillness that don't feel peaceful. They feel pregnant, as if something's hanging there, unfinished. You might notice it in the way you pause before answering a question, or how you suddenly remember something you didn't even experience. You might feel it as a pressure, not on your body, but in time, like a moment, dragging a second too long. It's not just you that's the mark the moon left behind, and it didn't leave it for everyone. Only those who are sensitive enough to feel it will even register the trace. It's not meant to be clear, it's not meant to be logical. It's an energetic fingerprint, and if you can sense it, that means you're one of the few meant to do something with it. But here's the twist. This message isn't delivered in words, it's delivered through what's been missing. Not all messages arrive, some are discovered in the absence. So think, what should be here that isn't? What did the moon take with it? And what did it forget to erase? Because if you find it, you'll realize that this wasn't just a moon phase, it was a departure. And what's left behind is waiting for someone to finally notice. Not all messages are meant to echo. They are meant to stay locked inside you, intact, unspoken, unshared. Tonight is one of those nights. This isn't a time for affirmations, not for declarations, not for posting your realizations in captions, journals, or text messages. Tonight, what you receive is not content, it's contact. And contact doesn't survive exposure. There is something sacred unraveling in the background of this night. A type of transmission that isn't broadcast through language. It's quieter, denser, almost like a scent carried on spiritual wind. If you feel it, you know. You just know. It may come in a flash while you're brushing your teeth or mid-conversation, when your mind suddenly drifts and lands somewhere that makes no logical sense but somehow feels like the truest thought you've ever had. Or maybe it visits in the form of a memory that doesn't belong to you, something that feels like it was passed down in secret. This is not information, it's inheritance. And here's where it becomes serious. The message you receive tonight is yours, completely, entirely, and only if you speak it aloud. Even to someone you trust. You change it, you weaken it, not because it loses power, but because it was never designed to multiply. It's not a seed, it's a seal. And the moment it's exposed to the air of someone else's understanding, it begins to distort. Because not all knowing is meant for sharing. Some truths are personalized encryption, tailored frequencies that only resonate when kept within your field. To tell it is to tear it. To explain it is to dissolve it. If you're feeling something profound tonight, don't write it down. Don't try to pin it to words. Let it sit, let it settle. Let it become a part of your intuition, not your identity. Because here's the thing. What you receive tonight might not even make sense to you yet. It's not meant to, not immediately. These aren't puzzle pieces. They're time-locked codes. And your future self is the one meant to open them. but only if the seal is kept intact. So treat it like you would a name whispered by a ghost, heard only once, meant only for your ears, carrying weight that language can't hold. Some things lose their truth the moment you try to make them make sense. Let tonight be the night you don't chase clarity. Let it be the night you honor the privacy of the message, because if you do, it will keep revealing itself. But if you break the silence, you break the bond, and what comes next will never quite fit the same way again. The moon isn't always loud tonight. The moon asks for your silence and not the absence of sound. Real silence, the kind where you stop grasping, where you allow the message to arrive without dressing it up in expectation. Silence is not emptiness. It is invitation without interference. You may not realize it, but every thought, every intention, every attempt to interpret what you're feeling right now becomes a wall between you and the truth. We're conditioned to process every signal, name it, turn it into something digestible. But some truths refuse to be digested. They require stillness, receptivity, space. Tonight is the kind of night where you might receive an answer, but only if you resist the urge to ask a question. The moon right now is like a sealed chamber that only opens when you stop knocking. And the less you demand from it, the more it gives you. There's a reason monks meditate in silence for hours. There's a reason sacred rituals begin with quiet. It's not because they lack words. It's because silence allows something other to enter. Something unfiltered, something pure. And tonight, Friday the 13th, that purity is available only to those who stop performing for it. If you're trying to get something out of this night, you won't. But if you sit with it, truly sit, let your breathing slow, resist the impulse to make something happen, you might start to notice things that were always there, the pattern in the way shadows move across your floor, the sudden stillness in a room that was full of noise just seconds ago. None of that is random. That's the message showing up. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of listening. And here's what no one tells you when you enter that space. When you go truly quiet, not only do you begin to hear things differently, but something begins to listen to you. Your body becomes a tuning fork. Your thoughts quiet enough to receive law awareness. The moon doesn't speak like we do, it responds. And tonight it's listening for those who are willing to be still long enough to feel heard. So stay quiet, not because there's nothing to say, but because something sacred is finally preparing to speak. And if you remain just silent enough, you'll hear what it's been holding back all along. Of all the things you could be watching, right now you're here. Not by chance, not by algorithm, and definitely not by accident. You didn't find this video, it found you. And no, that's not a metaphor. The moment you stopped scrolling was the moment something older than memory recognized you. There's a frequency humming beneath this day. Most won't feel it, but you did. Something pulled you here before your conscious mind even caught up. That isn't coincidence, it's resonance, like a hidden chord, vibrating only for those who are ready to remember. Because when the moon meets a day like the 14th, certain people activate, not with facts or names, but with feeling, ancient, familiar, unshakable. You didn't come here for information. You came because something in you responded to a signal. There are truths that don't speak until they're seen, and people who don't awaken until they're recognized. Now that you're here, you can't unfeel this, because what just happened wasn't content, it was contact. The moon didn't just rise tonight, it reached out, and you've been seen. And what's been triggered can't be undone. So now the only question is, what happens when something ancient starts following you back? If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the sermon and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe to our social platforms. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful sermons. Divine Spirit, keeper of unseen truths, we come before you in humble silence, seeking the wisdom that lies beyond words and the guidance that flows through stillness. We acknowledge the sacred space created tonight, where the veils are thin and the echoes of ancient knowledge softly whisper. Grant us the courage to listen deeply, to resist the urge to speak prematurely, and to honor the sacred mystery that resides within our heart. May we learn to embrace silence not as emptiness, but as a sacred invitation, an opening for divine contact and higher understanding. Bless us with discernment to recognize the signals, the subtle messages, and the quiet shifts that you place before us. Help us to trust what is unseen, to honor what is unspoken, and to keep the seals intact, knowing that some truths are meant to be kept private and protected. May tonight be a night of profound receptivity, where the sacred flows freely and the spirit of remembrance awakens within us. Guide us to walk gently in the sacred space, carrying the weight of what we receive with reverence and humility. As the moon witnesses and responds, may we also become attentive to the divine whispers in our own lives, those gentle nudges and silent callings that lead us closer to our highest purpose. Thank you for this sacred moment, for the unseen connections, and for the eternal light that guides us through the darkness. May we carry the sacred knowing forward with grace, humility, and reverence, always listening in the silence. Amen.